And welcome to this week's edition of the Life and Legacy Show. My name is Tim Sechler. I am the owner of the Sechler Law Firm, and I am here doing this radio show each and every week, trying to get you the information you need to know in order to protect yourself, your family, your finances, and get the care you need, preferably without going broke in the process. And so at our law firm, we really help people with three types of cases. We do post-death administration work. If you've ever lost a loved one and have been asked to be the executor or the trustee, we help people with that. We also do a ton of estate planning, writing wills and trusts for people. And I tend to believe that trusts work a lot better for a lot of families than wills. And that practice area, we invite you first to come to an education event. And so let me just chat about that for a second. It's what we call our 3 Secrets workshop, the 3 Secrets to Protect Your Family and Finances. We host them fairly frequently around Pittsburgh. And you can come and learn the differences between wills and trusts, the difference between revocable trust, irrevocable trust, all those tax questions you have. And we can also help you understand how to protect your assets in the event that you would have a future long-term care need, because nursing homes in this country cost $150,000 a year, and most families are pretty ill-equipped to deal with that issue. And so what we do is we put you in a better position so that if you do end up getting sick later, we've protected some resources. And then that way, particularly for married people, you don't have to worry about your spouse losing a home, losing the money, etc. We've protected it for you. So if you'd like to learn more about that, go to sechlerlawfirm.com, SECHLER lawfirm.com. And you can find out all about our workshops and register right online. It's free to come, but they do fill up, so you should check it out. We host them a couple of times a month. The third type of case that we see are families who need long-term care. Now, we talk an awful lot about nursing homes on this show, but not everybody that needs long-term care is in a nursing home. In fact, today we're going to talk about an amazing way to keep people out of skilled nursing facilities and in their homes, which is where all of our clients and probably all of our listeners would prefer to be, is in my house rather than in a nursing home. And there is a program in this state called the Life Program. That if you don't know about the Life Program, it is one of the best kept secrets in healthcare, especially for seniors who need some long-term care help. And I am joined on today's radio show by Emily Stumpner of Life Butler County. And here's a couple things to know about the Life Program. One, this thing is like my favorite program to get people into. I have personally gotten families into the Life Program, and it has kept them at home. The only other care option would have been a skilled nursing facility, and it's kept them at home for years after their need for this type of care. And so I'm super excited to get the word out about the Life Program. Now, Emily is from Life Butler County. There is also the Life Program in every county where you could hear this radio station. And they all work together. There's no competition because it's based on where you live, where you're eligible for. And so let's find out about the Life Program. Emily, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And what's your role at Life Butler County?
So I am the Community Outreach Marketing Manager.
Okay. And what does that mean?
So I go to the individuals' homes to talk more about the Life Program and how we can get you eligible for our services.
Okay, cool. And so that's what we want to talk about is eligibility. I want you to almost pretend as we're doing this show that the listeners are people who are potentially in need of some form of long-term care now or 6 months from now, because some of the listeners are in that category. And they're concerned about things like, should we put dad in the home? How are we going to do this? How is mom a good enough caregiver? What are the different things that they're concerned about? And so why don't you describe for the listeners the way that you think about the Life Program?
Yes. So LIFE stands for Living Independence for the Elderly. So our goal is to keep you or your loved one in their home for as long as possible. So we have 3 main components with the LIFE program. First is medical. Second is the adult day center that we offer. And then the third is our home care services that we provide as well. So the medical portion is that we become your medical provider. So we're basically like a one-stop shop. We offer all of the services. And our clinic is held at our center. And our center is located on West Diamond Street, right behind the courthouse. We have our own primary care physician as well as our specialty care providers. And then we do provide transportation to and from the center as well as any doctor's appointments that you might have. So that's the medical portion. Each participant also has an individual care plan that is determined by the life team, which is combined of 9 interdisciplinary team members. So they would decide what type of services they could assist with. And we partner with family and friends to provide that care at the home. Second is the Adult Day Center, which I had mentioned that is on West Diamond Street. It's open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. And like I'd said before, we provide the transportation to and from the center. So normally when a participant arrives around 8:30, 9 o'clock, if we're the ones that are providing the transportation, we offer continental breakfast, hot lunch, and often a snack, depending on how late the participants stay. They can provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy at the center. We have ongoing activities. And honestly, the center is more for to take some burden off of the family members, as well as to get some communication. And it's nice for the participant to come to the center to get that interaction.
Sure. And the way I like to think about the life program, in everybody I talk to who works for one of the life programs says, you can't really explain it that way. That's not really what it is. Okay, but I'm going to do it anyway because this is my radio show. Here's how I think about the life program. The life program, especially folks that are enrolled for services at the adult day facility, I think about it as going to the nursing home for 8 hours a day. Right? Maybe it's 6 hours, whatever the care plan calls for, because there's probably somebody listening to the show today who is thinking about, man, caregiving is getting tough on mom. I don't think she can take care of dad, or there might be an exhausted caregiver child who just, is all in dealing with somebody who has dementia or some other issue. And they're becoming overwhelmed. And the only option looks like, well, maybe we could place dad in a nursing home. And where the life program really seems to be really interesting, particularly in my opinion for married couples, but I think for everybody, is I imagine the situation where we'll call the family Fred and Wilma, and Fred has Parkinson's disease perhaps, or some issue that requires him to need some custodial care. And Wilma is just an exhausted caregiver, loves having Fred there, loves the fact that she's keeping him in the house, but just she's now having her own health problems because she's 24/7 caregiver. What the life program does in this situation is they send the van to the home to get Fred on the van. Fred then gets to the adult day center, where it's like being at the nursing home for the day. So this is not just a senior center, like all the little municipalities that have the senior centers or the churches that have the senior groups. This is not that. This is more involved care. So while they're at the senior center, while they're at the care center, there is physical therapy going on. Eye doctors come in, dentists come in.
Yes.
All of the different healthcare needs that Fred might have, it is provided there. And so what this does now for Wilma is Fred is in a safe environment where he's with medical professionals who are doing those things, but also doing the social interaction, right? I was in a life center the other day. We had an event out at the life center in Somerset County recently. And I walked in and I could hear a live guitar being played. And so I walked down the hall and poked my head into the kitchen, into the cafeteria. And here's a guy just in there singing and playing guitar, and all the participants are in there clapping and having a good time. And it was really a neat scene. And I just thought, man, this is so much better than all these people. The alternative would be they're in their easy chair watching television at 10 o'clock, and here they are enjoying live music, having some fellowship with each other. It just seemed like such a nice thing. So
It is, and that's what we do as well. We have live entertainment, ongoing activities, bingo, crafts, baking, etc. They also provide one-on-one activities too. One of the things is that we have certified nursing assistants as well there that can assist your loved one.
Great. And so that's what our hypothetical Fred is experiencing during the day. But the real, I think one of the real perks to this is the experience that Wilma is having during that day, because Wilma, at least for that 6-hour period or 8-hour period, however long it is, Fred has a meal. Fred has 2 meals. He's got breakfast, he's got lunch, he's got a snack perhaps in the afternoon, depending on, the participant's situation. But now Wilma is able to visit the grandkids, visit her friends for coffee, get to the store without worrying about, is Fred okay to leave at home, or whatever the case is. And so this reprieve from the daily grind of caregiving is one of the biggest perks here, because it extends the ability of time in which Wilma can keep Fred at home, because she's not all in all day long every single day.
Right.
And then talk a little bit. I tend, when I think about the life program, to think about the care center, but talk to me a little bit about the home care benefits as well.
Yes. So we partner with family and friends to assist with bathing, dressing, grooming, housekeeping, light housekeeping, laundry services. We can assist with shopping and preparing meals. So that's where we come together with the family to determine what type of assistance are you still willing to assist with, and then the life team can determine if we're able to provide those other services.
And so you have folks that will come into the home and help with those events.
Yes.
Right. And every family is different, I know, but is that a daily thing, a couple of times a week thing, or?
Each participant has an individualized care plan. So it just depends on what they need, what services they need.
Okay.
So if it's not safe for them to get a bath at home, we also offer those services at the center as well.
Okay. And like we said at the top of the show, every county has the life program, right? Allegheny County has 3 or 4 locations where they have day centers. I think most of the other counties only have 1. But you can find out what you need to about any of the programs by getting in touch with Emily and the crew at Butler Life, because if you're an Allegheny County resident, they can connect you to the people that you need to be connected to, because you have to go where you live. So let's, why don't you just give the listeners your contact information? If they got questions, they can give you a call.
Yeah. So the center's phone number is 724-287-5433. And then our website is lifevicare.org.
Let's spell that out. LIFEVIECARE.org. Now, I encourage you to, if this is of interest to you, if you got somebody in your world that may need this care, I encourage you to go to that website, lifevicare.org, and watch a couple of the videos on there, right? So the website is broken down by the county, the couple of counties that you're involved with. But if you watch the videos and they have participants that have been interviewed in these videos, you can get a real feel for what's going on. I credit you guys for having a great website. Like the videos, I think, are extremely helpful and really give a feel for what's going on there. And here's the part that we haven't talked about, which I think is one of the best things about the entire thing. Like we've been burying the lead a little bit here. The most important thing is that how much does this program cost for someone who is eligible for Medicaid?
So it could be at no cost if you qualify financially.
Right. So I talk an awful lot about the nursing homes and protecting assets from nursing homes. But here's a program that is free if you meet the appropriate financial criteria, right? No out of pocket. And it's largely the same financial eligibility rules that we talk about all the time with nursing homes, right? You can't, you have to be, meet the asset income limitations, which vary whether it's a single person or a married person. And we have to be, the person who needs the care, their income has to be relatively low, which is the big caveat here. But let's just throw it out. Low is $2,742 this year. That figure changes every year, so that's a gross income $2,742 a month. But there are ways that we could work together. You could do some legal work and find another $500, which would take you to about 3242 from an income eligibility standpoint. And then with the assets, there's different things that if I imagine what you're going to say is people that come to life program and are financially overqualified,
Mhm.
that's where our partnership steps in,
Correct.
right? That's where you
Yes.
need to work with an elder law attorney who can advise you, okay, well, here's a couple of different options that we have to be able to protect assets and whatnot. And of
Mhm.
course, people can pay privately for this, right?
They can.
Right. So if you don't meet those eligibility requirements, but you're looking at the price of this versus the price of some care facility, and you think, well, maybe I'll just go out of pocket if it allows me to keep myself in my home longer. There's also that, right?
Mhm.
There's also the opportunity to just pay for it. What else would you like folks to know about the life program?
I think what I discussed is a great overview of the
Mm-hmm.
services, but the eligibility criteria is that you must be 55 years or older. And for my life care, you must live in Butler County. Um, the next step is that you must be deemed medically appropriate by the Area Agency on Aging, and we assist you with this process. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks to enroll an individual. We only enroll individuals at the beginning of the month. Um, the next step would be to be deemed medically appropriate by the life team. And then lastly is the financial criteria that
Mm-hmm.
the assistance office would need to
Right. We
approve.
got to apply for the Medicaid
Correct.
eligibility. And our law firm helps people with that pretty frequently because, you know, most people that want eligibility to a program like this have some money. They've got a little bit too much money. Maybe they've got a lot too much money and they really like the idea, but how can we get them financially qualified essentially without going broke?
Mhm.
And when necessary, if our law firm is retained, we put together what we call Medicaid spend down strategies where we might move the money around in a way that looks more favorable for eligibility. And then we help with the Medicaid application process. And so you can start this program. If you want to learn more about the program, you can start by reaching out to Life. Let me give the phone number again. This is Life Butler County, 724-287-5433, or go to LifeVicare, VIE care.org, LifeVicare.org. And Emily and her team at Life Butler County. If you don't live in Butler County, I'm sure they will get you to the appropriate people, but you can find out more about it. And if we need to do some planning, if we need to protect assets, they'll refer you over to us or someone like us, or you can reach out to our law firm directly. Let me give you that phone number, 724-546-4227. And what I want to do is shift gears a little bit and just talk about a, a huge win that we had in referring somebody um, to the life program. In fact, I still think that they're a participant at the life program, and this is a couple years back. Um, it was we had a client who was in his late 50s, so relatively young on the scale of eligibility for this thing because you have to be 55 or older. And he had a debilitating disease that was, getting worse. But his wife was still working, right? I mean, this is a relatively young family, and so how could she go to work? And and it was a situation where she was having to forego hours at work, so she's now caregiving and losing money because she's not working. And we introduced her to the concept of the life program. Now, this particular family, he qualified from an income standpoint, but they had too much money. They had, let's say, a couple $100,000. Um, and we looked at the situation and realized that due to the age and due to the things that just these kind of quirky, crazy eligibility rules that the state has for programs like this, um, we were able to shift a lot of the money from the husband's name to the wife's name, and then we were able to shift it from assets into income, which I'll spare you some of the details. But in doing so, we were able to get the husband, eligible for the life program without spending the $100,000 that would have come had we not done the planning. Um, and it's now like this has just been a huge win for the family and all the way around because this person has been part of the program 3-4 years now. And I occasionally get messaged by his wife, like, thank you. right? And she's just thanking me for making the introduction to you guys because you're taking the great care of her husband. And now she's probably in her 60s at this point, but she's still living her regular life. I mean, to the extent she can, and still not the life that she had planned for. They weren't planning on having this massive disability, but life is working, and in a lot of the is because of the good work that you guys do at the life program.
Well, thank
And
you.
so I've just, when I had that case, I've just become such a huge proponent of what you guys do. And if you're listening to this, you're on the fence, or you're just curious about whether you could be a good fit, don't hesitate. This whole assessment that life will do to figure out, to work with you to figure out if it's appropriate care, it doesn't cost you anything. And I'm telling you, there are some huge wins in this program. And I when I do my speaking events, I ask people to raise their hand if they want to go to a nursing home, and nobody ever does. Nobody wants to go to a nursing home. We all have to plan for the just in case. But nobody really wants to go to a nursing home. And so this program can keep you home for an extended period of time. And here's another interesting thing. Explain what happens if a person who's being served in a community does need to go to a nursing home. They're already on Medicaid, right?
In our program?
In your program, right?
So we have contracted providers that life would handle those, like the financial burden. So if life feels that there was a significant change or you or your loved one's health, they can transition you to a nursing home. Although our goal is to keep them in their home, but we do have that service available.
So here's, from my standpoint, here's lawyer Tim again, but from my standpoint, we get somebody eligible financially and legally for care in the life program if they do have an event, if they have a stroke, if they have a fall, if they have a thing that requires them to go to a nursing home. Mm-hmm. We've already got them eligible for Medicaid. We've already got them eligible for the life program. And so through the life program, you now can get your care in a skilled nursing facility after this change of circumstances without having to go through the rigmarole of the financial eligibility again, right, and the spend down again and all the rest. You're already on the life program. Part of the life program is keep you in your home as long as possible. But if you need the care, you're already eligible for the program, and you can get your nursing home care, which is an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. So I just want to make mention, we've been talking an awful lot about if the listeners are looking at placement now, considering care options now. Maybe you're looking at this thinking, this sounds pretty interesting, but I'm a couple years down the road. Well, I just want to give you this tip that a couple years down the road, we have time then to put you in a better financial standpoint for eligibility in the future, right? If unfortunately, in my opinion, unfortunately in this country, our health care that seniors get is dependent upon the financials, right? And it's also dependent upon the healthcare event that someone will have. If somebody has a heart attack and they need care in a hospital, that's acute care. Surgery, pacemaker, oil change, all the magic that the doctors do, that's acute care. That is typically covered by Medicare, right? For people over 65. But for people over 65 who need the nursing home or this type of level of custodial care, largely it's private pay until you essentially go broke. And so what we like to do is teach people that, in my opinion, this rule book is pretty broken because I don't want to go broke due to long-term care expenses. And I find that most of my clients don't want to go broke due to long-term care expenses. And so we teach people how to protect themselves, protect their finances ahead of time. If we didn't get the job done ahead of time because we didn't get it started early enough, then we do sort of the more crisis management techniques later. But for those of you who are thinking, man, I'm learning a lot about this. I'd like to know how, if I get sick in the future, I could qualify for a program like the Life Program or Medicaid care in a nursing home. That's why we offer our workshops pretty much every other week. It's the 3 Secrets to Protect Your Family and Finances. And you can find out all about this workshop by going to our website at sechlerlawfirm.com, SECHLER lawfirm.com. And there you'll find links to attend the workshops. And you'll also find hours and hours of videos that we've put out just teaching people, hey, here's some tools you should consider. You should consider a thing called an irrevocable trust. You should really think twice about giving your house to your kids because that can always be a headache. and just some tips and tricks. But if you're really interested in this, you can give us a call at 724-546-4227 or check us out at sechlerlawfirm.com. Now, Emily, we got about a minute left here. Any final thoughts on what you would like people to know about Life Butler County?
Yeah, so if you or your loved one could benefit from these services after hearing what we can provide, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Again, the center's phone number is 724-287-5433. And our website is lifevicare.org. But really, our goal is to keep you or your loved one in your home as long as safe as possible.
And it works. This program is a success everywhere they've tried it. You should check it out if you're in need. So thanks for joining us this week. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. All right. Hey, listen, remember, don't make any legal or financial decisions based on what you hear on this or any other radio show. If you need legal advice, you need to reach out to a lawyer. We are available anytime at 724-546-4227. Emily, thanks for joining us. I hope we helped some people today. Guys, check out the Life program. It is a real winner for you. We'll check you here next week. Thanks for listening.